Now we are going to discuss the prompt template class of LangChain. This class makes it super easy to create dynamic prompts with placeholders instead of writing static text every time. Don't you worry, at the end you will understand everything. To explain you this concept of prompt template class of LangChain, we are going to create City Fact Finder app and we will improve this app step by step. So let's get started. Let's create one new Python file with name cityfactfinder.py. So now let's first import required libraries. So first we require OS, also from .env. Let's import load_.env from langchain _OpenAI, because first we are going to use OpenAI. Then we will move to Gemini. After that, we will use Olama. So from langchain _OpenAI, let's import ChatOpenAI class. Now very important, langchain.prompts. Let's import PromptTemplate and let's load our environment variables, means our API key for OpenAI, right? So before we move forward with the coding, let's first understand what is a prompt template. So whenever we work with large language models, LLMs, we usually give them prompts or questions that tell the model what to do, right? Here is the example prompt. Tell me one interesting fact about Paris. Here, Paris is a city, right? This works. But imagine you want facts about different cities like Tokyo, Jaipur, and many more. Typing the whole prompt again and again is repetitive. Instead, we can write the structure once and fill in the changing part later. Here you can see, tell me one interesting fact about city. This city is inside curly braces. Here, city inside curly braces is a placeholder, means a blank that we can fill dynamically. If you fill city with Paris, it becomes like this. So this prompt becomes like this. Tell me one interesting fact about Paris. If you fill city with Tokyo, the same structure works again and it will become tell me one interesting fact about Tokyo. This is the exact idea of a prompt template. You might think this looks like Python's app strings. And yes, in a way it is. But there are two key advantages that make prompt template a better choice. First, it fits perfectly with LangChain's ecosystem. So it works smoothly with chains, agents, and other components without extra effort. Second, it has built-in validation. If you try to pass a variable that is not defined in the template, it throws an error immediately. This keeps your code clean and prevents silly mistakes. For example, if my template expects only the city variable and I accidentally try to pass something else, .format will fail right away. That's why prompt template is a more structured and reliable way to handle dynamic prompts, especially as your project starts getting bigger and bigger. Don't you worry, you will understand everything when we start coding. But just remember the advantages of prompt template over Python's app strings. First, it fits perfectly with LangChain's ecosystem, and second, built-in validation. That's all. Let's move on. So whenever we want to create a prompt template in LangChain, we require three things. First, template. So as we discussed, whenever we want to create a prompt template in LangChain, we require three things. First, template. This is the actual prompt text that contains placeholders inside these curly braces. Think of it like a sentence with blanks that you will fill later. Like this. This is the template. Tell me one fact about this city. You can consider this city as a variable, but here we can tell this variable as a placeholder, right? So here city inside the curly braces is the placeholder. So let's back to code and let's complete our first step, template. So template is equal to, let's write in triple quotes because we want multiple line in a template. You are a travel expert. Share one interesting or fun fact about placeholder city, right? Done. So we have completed our first step. We have defined our template. Let's move on to our second step. Now our template is ready. Now we have to create a prompt template object which contains very important parameter input variables. This is a list of all placeholders used in your template. It tells LangChain which variables are expected. Here is the example. You can see we have to define this constructor with this parameter input underscore variables and placeholders. Currently we are using only one placeholder. That's why only city and template which pointing to our template, which is second parameter of this constructor, right? If you pass any variable that's not listed here, prompt template will throw an error. This gives you built-in validation, right? As we discussed earlier. So now let's create a prompt template object. Let's back to VS Code. So now we have completed our first step, defining template, and now we are here. So let's create a prompt template object using this, right? So let's define constructor having two parameters. Input variables, here city only, right? Because we have only one placeholder, city. And second, template, this template, right? Which is pointing to our template that we have created here. And let's assign it to one variable prompt is equal to this statement. So we have completed these two steps. Let's move on to our third step. As we discussed, whenever we want to create a prompt template in LangChain, we have to use three things, right? We have completed this and this. Now let's move to .format method. So this is our format method. So this is how we pass real values to the placeholders to build the final ready to send prompt using this .format method. So here prompt.format, and here we are passing actual value of city. This city can be passed by the user as well. Don't you worry, we will discuss this practically. So this passes the value to the template and creates the complete final prompt. It looks like this. If you pass city as Paris, tell me one fun fact about Paris. If you pass here Tokyo, the prompt will become like this. Tell me one fun fact about Tokyo. Likewise, right? So now let's use .format method in our code. Let's move back to VS Code. So prompt is prompt, right? .format method, and here we have to pass this placeholder city and any city. Let me take Baroda. You can give any city, right? And this will create our final prompt that we can pass to LLM. For that, we are going to use this class ChatOpenAI and model equal to, you can use any GPT model. We are going to use GPT 4o, not 0, right? 4o mini, and let's assign it to one variable LLM. Optionally, you can also pass one parameter which is optional, temperature, to 0.7. Temperature controls how creative or random the model's output is. Low temperature like 0 or 0.2 makes the model behave more deterministic. If you give same prompt, it will give similar answer always. High temperature like 0.8 or 1 makes the model more creative. When you give same prompt, it may generate different answers every time. But here we are using temperature is equal to 0.7, which is balanced. Some variation good for normal use. After that, we have to use invoke method. Here in invoke, we are sending our final prompt, right? This one. So please remember, here we are using invoke method to send the final prompt to the model and it print its reply. To store model reply, let's create one variable response, right? And let's print the response and content of the response. Done. Now you can see we have successfully used prompt template class of LangChain. Just you have to remember three things: template, and after that you have to create a prompt template object like this with input variables and template parameters. That's all, right? And final, you have to use .format method, right? That will replace this placeholder with actual value. That's all. As simple as that, right? Let's test this. Move to new terminal. Let's clear this. Let's use Python and our file name cityfactfinder.py. Great. You can see answer from GPT-4o mini. Great. You can see fact about Baroda city. Now let's create a very simple web app for this. To create web app, we are going to use Streamlit. So first we have to import Streamlit as st. So let's first create our title for our web app, City Fact Finder app. Second, we have to take input from the user, means user can enter a city. For that, we have to use st.text_input, and let's tell the user enter a city, and we have to assign it to one variable city. Right? Done. This is our template. No need to change here because we are using only one placeholder. So input_variables is equal to city. Done. But here, instead of hard coding this city, now it will be entered by the user city from here, right? And let's create one button. If button and name on the button generate. So if user press this button, st.button, then our model will generate the response. Done. Let's try to execute this once. Let's clear this. Because we are using Streamlit, so we have to execute like this. Streamlit, run, and app name. Great. You can see. Let's try Anand city. And let's press this button, generate. Now you can see it is not displaying response here because you can see currently it is showing response on the console because of this print statement. If you want to print response on web app, we have to write st.write. Let's save this. Let's press Ctrl C to stop. Let's clear this and let's run one more time. Again, Anand city and generate. Great. You can see Anand located in the Indian state of Gujarat and is famously known as the milk capital of India. You can see great response from GPT-4o mini, right? So now let's move on. Now let's improve our app further. In place of one placeholder, now we are going to use two placeholders. So now first let's update our template. So you are a travel expert. Share one interesting or fun fact about topic in city. So now here we have to add one more input variables. Let's save this. Here also topic is equal to topic. And now we have to take topic as an input from the user. That's right. Enter a topic. For example, the topic can be food, history, culture, architecture, etc. Right? So here we are taking city as an input from the user as well as topic. Here we are using two placeholders. Here we are using two input variables. And here in format also we are passing topic and city. Done. Now again let's rerun our web app. You can see again city Anand and let's enter a topic food. Let's press this button, generate. Great. You can see city and you can see food, dhokla. Great. You can see now our app is working fine with two placeholders. Now let's move on and let's improve our app further. Now we are going to use three placeholders. Let's stop this, clear this. Now let's update our prompt further. Answer in this language. Our third placeholder, topic, city and language. So it will generate answer in particular language entered by the user. Here let's create new variable with language st.text input and enter a language. Let's save this. Here also we have to add third input variable language. Here also language is equal to language. Done. Let's run one more time. Anand, food, language, Hindi. Let's check. Let's press this button, generate. We want answer in Hindi language. Great. You can see our app is working fine, right? Now let's improve our app further. What if some user enter some city name which is not exist? For example, Tigerpur, city which is not exist. Let's press this button. You can see still our model is generating some answer even though this particular city is not exist. So model tries to come up with something, but what we actually want is simple. If the city doesn't exist, the model should reply just I don't know. That's all. I don't know. For that, we have to update our prompt further. Let's do this, right? So first, let's press Ctrl C to stop our server. Let's clear this. Here, let's write avoid giving information about fictional or non-existent cities. If city is fictional or does not exist, answer exactly I don't know. That's all, right? So here we are updating our prompt, means our template. I hope it should work. Let's rerun our web app. Again, this Tigerpur, city which not exist. Let's press generate. Great. You can see our app is working fine. I don't know, right? Let's move on. As you can see, we have implemented our web app city fact finder using OpenAI, right? So now let's use Google Gemini. So here let's create new file with the name city fact finder Gemini.py. Let's select this code. Let's copy this code and let's paste this code here in this new file. Let's save this. As you know, we have to remove this. In place of this, we have to use from LangChain _ Google _ GenAI. We have to import chat Google generative AI class. So let's copy this class name. Here, just we have to replace this class and we have to change the model name, our previous model that we have used earlier, right? Let's copy this, paste it over here, save this. Let's press Ctrl C, clear this, and let's run. Now this time, let's enter city Paris, topic architecture, and language English this time. Let's press this button, generate. Great, you can see, right? Now our app working fine with Gemini. Let's move on. Now let's stop our server. Let's clear this. Now let's use Ollama. For that, let's create new file, city fact finder ollama.py. Again, I'm selecting this app, copy this, and let's paste it over here. Let's save this file. Now we not require all, not even this, because now our model is running locally, right? So let's import from LangChain _ community .chat models. We have to import chat Ollama. Let's save this. Let's copy this class and here we have to replace with this. And next step, as you know, we have to change this model name, right? So let's move to command prompt. First, let's run Ollama. It is running. Let's clear this. Ollama list and let's take this model, Ollama 3.2 3B model. Paste it over here. This model is running locally on my system. Done. That's all. Now again we have to run, but this time file name is city fact finder Ollama. Let's press enter. Again, let's try Baroda, topic history and language Hindi. Let's press this button, generate. It is taking some time. We have to wait. Great. You can see answer from this model, Llama 3.2 3B. We can say our app is working fine, right? So hope all of you are clear with prompt template that we have used with different models, OpenAI, Google Gemini, and with Ollama as well, right? Let's move on.